All right, today this is our 2014 SOL. So obviously it's 2019, so it's 5 years old, but it's going to be a great guide because this is pretty much a lot of what you're going to see on this SOL. The reason they don't have newer ones available for us is because after this year, they started doing the adaptive testing, and that's where the questions change depending if you're getting them right or wrong. So they can't give us 50 questions just to show us what it would look like, because your 50 questions aren't going to look like the 50 questions of the person next to you. So this is the last year that they showed it, and this is the one we're going to use. All right, and we'll mark out anything that we didn't learn this year because there's surface area in here, there's quadrilaterals and that stuff, and probability, and that's all stuff we did not learn this year. So, because we're on new standards. So if we have that, I'll just put a big X over it and you can ignore it because nothing like it will be on the test. All right, so number one, which of these numbers is between 1/3 and 87 hundredths? All right, 1/3 and 87 hundredths. Now, everything here is non-calculator. If you look, we don't get to the calculator section until after number 7. So number 7 is the last one that's non-calculator. So we're going to try to do this without calculators, and here we go. 1/3. 1/3 equals what? So as a percent, I like to make everything a percent. That's going to make everything easier. So 33.3% repeating. All right. And then 87 hundredths. So 87 out of 100. Well, the word percent means out of 100. So that's already a percent. 87%. So we just have to find which one of these is between 33% and 87%. Well, 3/5. Easiest way to do that one is to make it a 10 on the bottom. Because remember your place values. If you make it out of tenths, that's one decimal place. So 3 becomes 6. So 6/10 equals 60%. Is 60% between these two on a number line? 33 and 87. Would 60 be between them or not?
No.
Yes. All right, so 60 is between 33 and 87. So A is the correct answer. All right, this one would have been 30 out of 100 if you just had a 0 at the top and bottom. 30 hundredths. All right, so 30%. 30% is not between 33 and 87. 92 tenths would be 920% if you add a 0 to the top and bottom. 920% is not less than 87%. And this last one would be 11%, which is not between them. So A is the correct answer, and we're moving on. Just remember, percents will save your life. If you want to make it decimal, that's on you. But I'm just telling you, sometimes that can be messed up because 0.77 and 0.8, kind of hard to figure out which one's bigger. It would be 0.8, even though 8 sounds like it's smaller than 0.77. All right. Yes, sir. Okay. All right, number 2. Number 2 right here. Which statement is true? All right, let me zoom in a little bit so we can see these all a little bit better. All right. And 2/5 equals 0.4. If that's true, let's find out. 2 over 5. I'm going to skip count it and get 10 because I want that tenths. 2 becomes 4. All right, if we had a calculator, I would just say 2 divided by 5, and it would tell me right away. But we don't have a calculator on these first 7, so I'm not going to do that. All right, 4/10 is the same as 40 hundredths, but at the same time, 4/10 would be 0.4. That is correct. 4/10. Tenths spot has a 4 in it. All right, 20%. 1/20. Well, if you times that by 5 to become 100, and do it to the top, you would get 5 hundredths. All right, well, 5% is not what we're looking for. So, because it says 20%. This one right here, that's where a lot of people get messed up. This is the one they're going to try to trick you with. This is the trickster right here. All right, and that's because 0.3%. If I want to make it a decimal, I go 2 places away from my percent sign. 1, 2, I'd have 0.003. 0.003 is not the same as 0.03. This has one more 0 after that than this does. All right, so C cannot be it. But that's the one they're going to try to trick you with. All right, and it's definitely not the last one. All right, moving down to number 3. All right, we're making good time on this. So list the numbers in order from greatest or from least to greatest. That would be ascending order, least to greatest, going up, going upwards. So we need the smallest number first and the biggest number last. All right, I'm going to turn them all into percents because that's how I do. All right, 2/3, I happen to know, is 66.7 or 66.6%. If you put either one, you will get it right, so don't sweat the whole 0.7 or 0.6. I'm just rounding up. All right, and then you also have 0.63%. 0.63%. That is less than 1%. Don't look at that thing like it's on par with that 66.7. It is less than 1%. All right, and then this last one, 0.6 equals, well, move it 2 places over, 0.6. 2 places over towards a percent sign would be 60%, or 6 in the tenths place. Well, 60%. Now it's easy to figure out. All right, least. Obviously, the one that's less than 1% would be least. So 0.63. We have to write it there the way they write it. All right, next one. So that's done. All right, the next one up, we have 60, because 66 is the biggest. So 60% is the 0.61. So now I'm going to do that, 0.6. Done with that. Last one's 2/3. Done with that. All right, so that is least to greatest right there. All done. And moving on to number 4. All right, number 4. We got, what is the value of 7 squared minus 4 plus 5? Well, 7 squared minus 4 plus 5. All right, try to write it a little bit bigger so we can all see it. If we forget, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. All right, so parentheses. Nope, don't have any. Exponent, there it is. All right, so 7 squared is 7 times 7, which is 49. Minus 4 plus 5. All right, so we're done with exponent. Now I look to see if we have multiply or divide. Nope, done with that too. Add, subtract, left to right. 49 minus 4 is 45 plus 5. 45 plus 5 is 50, which is A. All right. I'll leave that up there just for a second. Yep. Well, the thing is, when you get down to add, subtract, it's left to right. This is why I like to actually write it like this. I haven't done that in a while, but I'll just draw an arrow over MD and AS to show it's left to right. So if divide comes first, you'll do division first. If multiply comes first, you do multiply first. Then when you get down to add, subtract, if subtract comes first, you do that. If add comes first, you do that. So we just go left to right when we get here. See, if we'd have done 4 plus 5 first, 4 plus 5 is 9. So 49 minus 9 would have got 40. And they have that as an answer choice. So you can see they're waiting for you to mess that up right there. They're hoping you mess that up. Don't let them get you. All right, moving on to the back side. All right, we have 1 7/8 divided by 3. So now I know that I'm going to need to use Texas and KFC. All right, or KCF if that's what you learned in the class you had before this one. All right, so I'm going to rewrite it just so I can see it better and mess with it better. Divided by 3. All right, so first things first. When you multiply or divide fractions, they both need to be fractions, not mixed numbers, not whole numbers. So we're going to have to fix all that. All right, changing to a different color. Here we go. TX, Texas. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. So 15 over the same old denominator of 8. And then I'm not going to do KFC yet. I'm going to leave it as is because I don't want to get confused trying to do 2 things at one time. All right, bring down the 3. And then I go, oh, 3 is a whole number. Got to get rid of that. 3 over 1. Just put a 1 under it. All right, now we can go ahead and KFC this thing. KFC. Keep, flip, change, or keep, change, flip, whatever you learned. 15 over 8. Instead of division, it's multiply, and instead of 3 over 1, it's 1 over 3. Now we can just multiply across, simplify, and we're done. 15 times 1 equals 15. 8 times 3 equals, well, 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 24. 15 over 24. Then, of course, I don't see that as one of my options. Looking over here, no 15 over 24. So that means I'm going to have to simplify. I know that 3 fits into both of these. I try 1. Nope, that's not going to be helpful. 2. Nope, they're not both even. 3. Yeah, I can try that. All right, so 3 goes into 15 5 times. 3 goes into 24 8 times. And now we finally have an answer we can use. B. All right. So we did Texas and KFC. That was considered, this is considered a hard level question since it's a non-calculator. Now, if this was a calculator question, they wouldn't give you high level points for it. But this is considered a high level question. If you got this one right, that's not one of the 4 we were talking about. All right, because you had to do Texas and KFC. They threw everything at you in one question they could, and you had to turn a whole number into a fraction. So they said, here's the whole kit and caboodle. Good luck. What's up? 8 plus 7 up here? Because Texas. I put a T, I put an X, because I had to turn this mixed number of 1 and 7/8 into an improper fraction. If I simplified 15 over 8, it would turn back into 1 and 7/8. 8 goes into 15 one time, leaves a remainder of 7. So 7 would be the numerator, 8 would be the denominator. So this is how we turn it into a improper fraction. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. And that gives us our new numerator. Denominator doesn't change. Denominator does not change. All right, so that's as hard as those are probably going to get, especially without a calculator. So just keep that in mind. All right, number 6. Now we have 6 plus 3 times 2. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. I like that one. All right, so would I do plus first or would I do times first?
Times.
I can't believe I heard a plus. All right, times. Unless that's division. No, is that division? Hold on, I got to look close at it. Nope, that's times. Or I mean plus. All right, so 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 6 equals 12. Pretty simple. Done. Now that's a low-level question, but hey, get those right too. Especially if you're seeing low-level questions, that means the fact that you need to get back to the medium or high-level areas. So they're giving you a couple of these to try to work you back into giving you the hard questions that give you more points on the SOL. All right, now we have times, but it's with both mixed numbers. And like I said, if you're multiplying or dividing fractions, they both need to be fractions. Both need to be fractions. 3.5 times 1 1/4. Or a quarter, however you want to say that. All right, TX. Got to do Texas and Texas. But it's times, so at least we don't have to do KFC. So this would probably be a medium level question. It's only one thing you really have to do. All right, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7, my new numerator. All right, 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. So those are my new numerators. I'm going to use the same old denominators. Put them in the same colors they were before. All right, and still times. Now we can just multiply across. I like doing that. 7 times 5, 35. 2 times 4, 8. All right, now we have to do division. 8 goes into 35. All right, let me scoot that up. Sorry about that. 8 goes into 3, can't do it, but 8 goes into 35 4 times. 4 times 8, 32. Subtract and you get 3. All right, so whole number, numerator, denominator. So this equals 35 over 8 equals 4 3/8. 4 3/8. Then we look over, there it is. Letter C, 4 3/8. So the long division, guys, it's not a lot you have to do with it, but just get your remainder. We're not talking about decimals here. There is a part where you should use decimal, like go all the way, put a decimal on the top and inside the problem, put 3 zeros, all that stuff. This is not one of them. When you're doing this simplifying fractions, you like having a remainder. Remainder is your numerator. Remainder is your numerator. All right. And now we are past the non-calculator section, and we can start showing you how awesome Desmos is going to be for the rest of this thing for you guys. All right, that page is gone. Next, the non-calculation calculator section of this test ends here. Yeah. Now we get word problems. Of course, they're going to make it harder now that they let us use a nice Desmos calculator. All right, and the kids that took this back in 2014, they didn't have a Desmos calculator. They had a regular calculator. You're going to be able to figure out all kinds of stuff that they weren't able to with that. All right, so a bag contains, this is a probability question. We did not do probability of this year. You can go ahead and X that out. Nothing like that will be on your test. Not even going to go into it. I don't even want to. We can talk later about it, but I don't want to waste people's brain power on these questions if I know that this will not show. Next year, you're going to get a bunch of lessons on this stuff. A lot of y'all do know how to do this. Probability is something y'all learned last year. You know, like if you roll a dice, you have a 1 out of 6 chance of hitting a number. You roll it a second time, you have a 1 out of 6. So 1 out of 6 times 1 out of 6 would be 1 out of 36. So you have a 1 out of 36 chance of rolling the same thing twice on a dice. That's what probability is. Yes, sir.
I saw this before in the test before.
Okay, it would have been an accident because we did not learn this year. I know that for a fact. They took that standard out and gave it to 7th grade. So